Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading is the monthly reading for February 2022 for all the signs. For the reading, I'll be using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck for the main spread. If I need to clarify, I have the Gilded Tarot here. I will pull an oracle card from the Sacred Traveler deck, which is by Denise, Linn. And then if you stick around to the end of the reading, I will be using the Light Seers Tarot, okay, this one right here, to do a 3-card pull to give you the chance to ask a question and then have a yes or no answer. So do stick around until the end for that. Just a reminder, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate. And if you're interested in shorter, more readings that I put out more frequently, you can head over to TikTok. I'm at Changing Phases Tarot on TikTok. All right, I will stop for now and we'll see each of the signs in a second for the reading. Hi there, Pisces. Hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your reading. I have been shuffling off camera, but I will give the deck a few more shuffles. Spirit, what are the messages for Pisces for the month of February 2022? What does Pisces need to know? Messages for Pisces. And Pisces, if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to be doing the 3-card interactive spread, right? Where you pick one of the 3 cards for your yes or no answer to a question. So do stay tuned for that. All right. So you start off with, Pisces, the Page of Cups, crossed by the 5 of Pentacles. In the deep past, you have the 9 of Swords. Recent past, you have the 8 of Wands. Crowning your reading, message from your higher self, you have the 9 of Wands. In the near future, beautiful, you have the 10 of Pentacles. You appear as the Moon, Major Arcana number 18. Surrounding you in your environment or how others view you, you have the 6 of Swords. Hopes and fears, the Ace of Cups. Outbound energy, you have Major Arcana number 15, the Devil. You might be dealing with a Capricorn, okay, because the Devil is associated with the sign of Capricorn. And bottom of the deck, overall energy for the month of February, you have the High Priestess. This is Major Arcana number 2. And immediately beneath her, you have Major Arcana number 12, the Hangman. But interesting because you have the High Priestess and the Moon, right? You showing up as the Moon. So definitely could be a month where you're using your intuition, you're really tapping into your intuition this month. Could be coming through, in your dreams. It might be a good month for you to keep a dream journal. Okay, but the High Priestess, she sits between our physical realm and the spiritual realm, and she's sort of a gatekeeper, right, of knowledge, and she encourages us to tap into our own intuition, right, in order to sort of see behind the veil, to gain these intuitive messages to help us. So she is associated with the Moon, with sort of nighttime dreams, but also into messages, you're using your intuition, messages that come through, such as repeating numbers, signs, synchronicities. So it could be, a significant month as far as all of these maybe non-traditional ways for you to gain knowledge or messages, with the High Priestess and the Moon showing up here. The High Priestess herself, she's associated with the sign of Cancer, so a fellow water sign, right? And the Moon is associated with your sign, Pisces, right? The Moon is, so you're showing up here very strongly in your own energy, right, with the Moon card. Okay, let's go through your spread. So you begin here with the Page of Cups crossed by the Five of Pentacles. Page of Cups can be news of a pregnancy, news of a birth of a child. It can be within a relationship, right? It can be the beginning phases, like that very sweet getting to know each other, you know, the beginning phases of a relationship. It can be a person. If so, this would typically be a younger water sign individual, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Could be a child, your own child. But in general, you know, pages, I view them more as events. In this case, you know, news, so this news coming in. If it's not news about a pregnancy or birth of a child, it can be news about a job that brings you great joy or happiness, right? So there's news that brings great happiness into your life. And what could help or hinder this is the Five of Pentacles, which, you know, it's a card of feeling left out in the cold. It's fives in the tarot are like lacking. It's this lack mentality. And in this case, it's lacking like earth energy. So it's money, you know, material possessions. And you see here the woman, she's out in the cold, but she has her child, right? And in the traditional tarot, the Five of Pentacles it shows people walking, you know, in the cold, in the snow, outside of a church, and they can see through the stained glass window that there's, you know, light inside. All they have to do is ask. So there is help available. So what could help or hinder you is, hindrance could be that you are, you know, very caught up in this lack mentality. Help could be that you need to ask, right? Don't be afraid to ask for help with the Five of Pentacles. So with a new offer, a new opportunity, don't be afraid to ask for help. Interesting, you have two nines here sort of sitting across from each other. So the Nine of Swords in the deep past, Nine of Wands crowning you. Both of these, you know, as nines in the tarot, they represent like you're nearing the end of something, right? So you're nearly closing out a particularly long, in the case of the Nine of Swords and Wands, difficult, painful chapter in your life, right? The Nine of Swords, it's referred to often as the nightmare card, and it's being kept up at night, you know, with the repetitive thoughts going over and over something in your mind, being worried about something. But it's like, you know, you're nearly at the end. You're nearly at the Ten of Swords, which is a difficult energy, right? It's a card of being stabbed in the back. It's sort of the lowest, you know, of the low. But after that comes the Ace. So it's like things can only go better, right? So you're nearly in the deep past. You've been going through a difficult cycle, and it's, you know, it has been worrying for you. You have been kept up at night. This could have been because of decisions, right? Decisions related to, if this was news of a pregnancy sitting at the center, you're concerned about that, worried about how you're going to pay for that, right? If it has to do more with your career or, you know, another area of your life, there's something that's been keeping you up at night. You've been concerned about that. But in the recent past, there's news coming in. And typically this Eight of Wands, it's positive news, right? It's news that comes in quite quickly. So change is in the air with the Eight of Wands. And it can represent like travel by air. It could be dealing with somebody. There's sort of an international element, you know, like traveling by air, dealing with somebody at a distance possibly. But it's also news. It's positive news coming in quite quickly. And there's progression here, right? We're going from the 8 to the 9 so that you're nearly at the end of a particular cycle. The Nine of Wands, though, it's, you know, there might be one last hurdle that you have to jump over, one last, you know, thing that's going to come up that you have to deal with before you can finish out, you know, that cycle, that job, whatever that, you know, that situation is for you. But coming in, I mean, there's a huge growth here. I mean, you go from the Five of Pentacles, which is the lack mentality, to like the ultimate in Pentacles energy in the near future with the Ten of Pentacles. this is the generational type of wealth coming in, right? It's that you could be receiving an inheritance. It's not the type of financial abundance and wealth that comes in overnight. This is, it's a significant amount. So, and there's a huge growth from the 5 to the 10. I mean, there's a huge change, a huge improvement as you move through the month, as far as, your finances go, the work that you do. I've already mentioned this moon card here, right? And surrounding you and your environment, or how others are viewing you, the Six of Swords, it's one of the 2 transition cards in the Tarot. The Eight of Cups, Six of Swords, they both represent movement, right? And we have movement with the Eight of Wands over here as well. But transitioning, moving out of a particularly difficult time, like what we've been seeing here, leaving behind choppy waters and heading into calmer waters. So there's improvement coming, but it's transitioning. You could be moving on mentally, physically, emotionally, right? There could actually be movement with the Six of Swords. You could be moving. And we have, you're hoping for this new job offer, you're hoping for this new relationship, you're hoping for the pregnancy, you're hoping for, the birth of the child. If it's a job, you're hoping for that job that's going to be, the holy grail for you, that everything that you've ever dreamed of, right? With the Ace of Cups there. And as you head out of the month, the Devil card is, it's, I guess the cautionary message with the Devil is to practice moderation, because the Devil can speak of, too much of a good thing is never a good thing, right? So taking a more moderated approach to something with the Devil card. Sometimes the Devil can be, in a relationship, it's like that toxic, codependent type of relationship. But in general, the Devil can represent, maybe you haven't had like a balance between your relationship and the workplace, or, your home and the workplace. So there's a need for balance here with the Devil card, and a need for moderation. Like I said before, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. But it can also be sometimes the Devil, it can be like having an attachment to like earthly pleasures, or, temptation, being sort of too caught up in the material side of life. So a need for, this need for the spiritual, which is interesting, right? With the double like moon and high priestess showing up. So your intuition is definitely going to help you, and I think it will help sort of cancel out or weaken or lessen, the energy of this Devil card. That's interesting. So it could be like a shift here, like maybe a shift in, priorities. What is it that you hold to be important in life? A shift from like the material to more spiritual. Interesting reading here for you. Let's go ahead and get an additional card. So Spirit, one additional message for Pisces for the month of February. What else does Pisces need to know? One additional message for Pisces. What else does Pisces need to know? Okay, I'll do one last shuffle. Okay, and you have in the flow. Somebody else had this. I can't remember which one of the signs. One of the signs had this. In the flow, everything is smooth sailing. So, yeah, you're exactly where you need to be. Things are progressing exactly how they need to progress, right? We have the smooth sailing, We have the Six of Swords, which is the boat, right? Things are moving ahead. They're sailing through the air. You have the changes in the air with the Eight of Wands. So things are, they're moving ahead for you. And things are starting to become easier. I mean, you're moving out of the Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords. You're heading into this easier time now, right? So smooth sailing, in the flow. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do then, Pisces, as I'm shuffling, I'd like you to go ahead and formulate your question, whatever it is that you would like an answer to. Okay, and then I will be pulling 3 cards. And you will need to choose one of the 3 cards, and that will be your yes or no answer to your question. Okay, so this is card number 1. Card number 2, and card number 3. If you need to pause the video to do that, go right ahead. When you're ready, unpause. If you went with card number 1, you have the Ace of Swords. This is a yes, right? Aces are yes cards in the tarot. They're blessings from the universe, new beginnings. In the case of the Ace of Swords, this is air energy. So it's, it's the suit of the mind, communication. It's also how we get our thoughts across to other people, yeah. And the Ace of Swords is a card of victory. It's a victory that's hard won, but it is a victory. It's also that epiphany, that aha moment, the clarity of mind, right? So if you've been trying to come up with a way, just like we had the Nine of Swords over here, where you're being kept up at night, going over and over something, you have this clarity of mind. So yes for card number 1. If you went with card number 2, this would also be a yes. Okay, you have the Queen of Wands. You might be dealing with an older fire sign individual, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Could just be you taking on this energy. But the Queen of Wands, she's very alluring. She's very dynamic. She's very determined, right? If there's a new project or something new that needs to get started, she's definitely the energy that you would want. She's great at multitasking. She's usually attractive, sort of an attractive figure. So, yeah, and as a yes or no, she would be a yes. If you went with card 3, wow, 2 of Cups, soulmate energy. Okay, so could be dealing with another water sign, right? So either Pisces like yourself, Cancer, or Scorpio. But this is soulmate energy. This is, yeah, it's 2 people coming together. It can be in the form of like a partnership, right? Like a business partnership, but it's also, a romantic connection, romantic relationship. And it's 2 people, coming together. Both of them have their full cup and they're joining to make this beautiful union. So together, right, they form something that's stronger, more beautiful, when they come together, right, than when they're just sort of wandering alone. So it's that great connection, very deep soul connection. But it's a yes, very positive. So 3 yeses for you here. So I do hope that the messages have helped. I thank you for joining me today. Look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful month of February. Bye for now.